So we've got this new signing, Varela. We want to find out a bit about him, so we've got in contact with South American football expert and editor of Football Report, Dom Vieira. First question, how do you pronounce his name?
We pronounce his name as Guillermo Varela. It's a quite an easy name, I think, for the English audience to pick up. And they might struggle on the first part of his name, but there shouldn't be any issue with the second name.
Yeah. Okay.
Varela.
We've got it. So what can you tell us about him?
Well, he's an exciting player, Varela. He's a raw talent. Although he's a right back, quite often he could look like a right winger. And my immediate comparison was looking at him and thinking this player is very similar to Rafael, who came to Man United, very slim boy, attacking minded, a lot of flair, a bit of skill. And I think that's exactly what Varela brings. And so it was an exciting prospect. Likes to run down the wing, always tries to get look for the cross for the pass. And I think being South American, it always adds that extra flavour to the Premier League. And I think that's what English people, Man United fans in general, will come to like from him. I wouldn't say he's a big talent, but it doesn't mean that he's not a talent, of course. And seeing that this summer we've got the Under-20s World Cup, where Varela will be part of the Uruguay team, it's an opportunity, I think, for us to see once again what this boy can promise and what he can deliver. But it's definitely not under the same umbrella as the James Rodriguez, maybe the Neymar, for example, or the Pastore when he first came up on the scene. But having said that, a lot of South American players do leave their country with a low profile, but then later on become a much more established name in the European stage, such as David Luiz, who came to Benfica as a fairly unknown player. Now he's become one of the world's most appreciated centre backs.
Cool.
Okay.
And while we've got you here, because you're an expert on Uruguay, we're kind of wondering about the Suarez sort of incidents at the minute, because Suarez is trying to leave Liverpool. We're obviously Man United fans, so we wouldn't mind seeing the back of him. How is he? How do people feel about him in Uruguay after the biting people incident?
Well, it's not the first time Suarez has been in the play. He did the same. He did the same in Holland. Throughout the past years, he has picked up a very negative, PR around him, which is of course his only fault. But in Uruguay, we don't focus on that much, because when he plays for Uruguay, he plays the national team, and he's a key player. He's a key player for Uruguay, and they rely a lot on him, and he delivers. He performs man of the match performances. So in that sense, from a football perspective, they're very big fans of Suarez, and seeing the Confederations Cup about to kick off, he's going to be a starting player without a doubt for Uruguay. Fans will be behind him because he's playing for Uruguay, and fans will be behind him because he'll be scoring goals. Hopefully, score a lot of goals. So, although the negative press we get here in Europe, he's got a different image back home.
Do you think he will leave Liverpool?
When a club like Real Madrid comes knocking on your door, I don't think there are many players who would say no to that opportunity. So, in that sense, if Real Madrid do come knocking on his door, I'm pretty sure he's getting the plane to Madrid.
Going forward, do you think there's any really good South American players and talents out there that we should be looking at for Manchester United? What are kind of up-and-coming stars in South American football today?
Well, yeah, there's quite a few. I think Under-20 World Cup's about to emerge, so we'll see Varela, for example, as I said before, getting a chance to get some limelight. Focus will be on him now for Uruguay because he's a Man United player. There's also the Confed Cup, and one of the most interesting players in the Confed Cup is Atletico Mineiro's Bernard, who's in the squad. He was elected Revelation of the Year in Brazil, and he's a very attacking-minded player. Plays with Joe and Ronaldinho up front. He plays on the left, so it's not often we get to see a talented left-footed player. And I'll compare him a lot to Eden Hazard. He's very similar player to Eden Hazard. Very fast, eye for goal, but eye for the pass. Has the flair, has the skill. So he's an exciting prospect in Brazil. Only 20 years old. I could see him maybe doing another year there before a lot of clubs come calling. Although I don't see him as a Man United player, probably someone more as a Man United player would be. I always think Man United should get someone more Argentinian, for example. And there's a player called I think Paredes in Boca Juniors, and he's a very similar player to Gaetan. He probably is their new Gaetan, so he's very attacking minded again, finds space, being compared to Riquelme, and he's another offensive minded, creative midfielder who'd be very good. Who's another one to look out for. And then the final one. He's a player we've spoken about for quite a while. Is Dede from Vasco da Gama. He's a big, strong centre back. Must be European bound by now. I see him as a future captain for Brazil at the back as well. And he's a strong, commanding centre back. 23 years old, I believe, and he's ready for Europe. So with Man United looking for a centre-back, he could be another one they should look into.
All right, thanks a lot, Dom. See you later. Dom Vieira there.
Dom Vieira there, no relation to the hated Patrick Vieira.
Yeah, sounds like a mafia boss. But we'll be sure to speak to him later if we need any more South American gossip.
And see how Varela is progressing through the season as rest of our other South American players. But more gossip, more details on transfers coming up soon. Leave your comments below at the bottom.
United fans, you know what to do. Click the button and subscribe to get involved.